Behind the Red Line, Episode 66. Daniel LaPlante, the boy in the walls, the house stalker, the psychic trickster, the triple murderer, a real-life monster hiding in crawl spaces. Some killers stalk their victims from afar. Some hide in shadows. Some lurk online. But Daniel LaPlante lived in their walls. He wasn't a ghost. He wasn't a demon. He was something worse. A teenage boy with a talent for slipping through crawl spaces, listening to secrets, playing with the minds of girls barely older than him. And in 1987, he escalated into one of the most horrific murders in Massachusetts history. This is Behind the Red Line, Episode 66, Daniel LaPlante, the boy in the walls. Daniel LaPlante was born in Townsend, Massachusetts in 1970. He grew up in chaos, neglected, isolated, and abused. His childhood was a perfect storm: severe physical abuse, emotional abandonment, sexual abuse at the hands of multiple adults, undiagnosed learning disabilities, violent behavior from a young age. Neighbors found him unsettling. Teachers described him as volatile. Classmates said he stared too long, too intensely. He was a child shaped by darkness and ready to spread it. LaPlante started breaking into homes as a teenager, not to steal, but to observe. He went through people's belongings, read their diaries, ate their food, moved small items, and left them in different places so the victims would feel like they were losing their minds. He liked watching without being seen. He liked hearing conversations. He liked learning routines. For LaPlante, privacy was a weakness, a door he could walk through. In 1986, LaPlante targeted the Andrews family after breaking into their home. He found pictures of their teenage daughter, Annie. He became obsessed. He memorized their layout, learned their schedules, watched them from the inside of the walls. Then one day, the phone rang, the phone calls. LaPlante pretended to be a teenage boy named Danny. He flattered Annie, said he got her number from a friend. They talked for weeks. She thought it was innocent young romance, but he already knew everything about her. The date. When they finally met in person, Annie was horrified. LaPlante did not look like he described. He was disheveled, dirty, strange, unsettling. She cut the date short. He simmered, and that's when the haunting began. One night, shortly after Annie's mother died of cancer, she and her sister heard knocking inside the walls. They heard tapping, scraping, a voice whispering, "I'm your mother." LaPlante wrote messages on the walls in ketchup. "I miss you, Annie. Why did you leave me?" The girls screamed. They thought the house was haunted. But the ghost wasn't paranormal. It was a teenage boy with a knife. One night, the girl's father came home and found something that froze his blood. In Annie's room, a figure stood facing the wall, dressed in her mother's clothes, a wig, a dress, a knife in his hand. When the figure turned around, it wasn't a ghost. It was Daniel LaPlante. The father lunged, and LaPlante vanished. He didn't run out the door. He disappeared. Police searched the house. Then they realized LaPlante had made tunnels. They found him curled inside the wall like a spider, peering through holes he'd carved, watching the family for days. He was arrested, placed in juvenile detention. But his story wasn't over. It was about to get much, much darker. On December 1st, 1987, LaPlante escaped from the group home where he was being held. He broke into the home of Priscilla Gustafson, a 33-year-old pregnant mother of 2. He found her in her bedroom. What happened next was pure horror. The crime scene. Priscilla was raped and shot 3 times in the head. Her 7-year-old daughter, Abigail, was drowned in the upstairs bathtub. Her 5-year-old son, William, was drowned in the downstairs bathtub. LaPlante left their bodies arranged in haunting positions. It was brutality beyond comprehension, performed by a 17-year-old. A massive manhunt followed. Dozens of officers, K-9 units, roadblocks, helicopters. LaPlante fled through the woods, stole multiple vehicles, broke into homes for food. For days, he evaded police until he was finally found cold, muddy, and exhausted in a dumpster. LaPlante showed no remorse, not once. He was convicted of 3 murders and sentenced to 3 consecutive life sentences without the possibility of parole. He smirked during sentencing. Even in prison, he committed assaults, wrote disturbing letters, and filed bizarre lawsuits. He never apologized, never explained, never admitted. A predator until the end. Daniel LaPlante represents the darkest human instinct. The desire to infiltrate, to observe, to violate, to destroy. He was a boy created by neglect and shaped into a monster by obsession. He stalked families from inside their walls, wore the clothes of the dead, whispered lies in the dark, and ultimately slaughtered an innocent mother and her children. He is still alive today, serving life behind bars, but the houses he invaded, they may never feel safe again. This is Behind the Red Line, episode 66, Daniel LaPlante, The Boy in the Walls.